against that very thing that's coming up against you. Because the truth of the matter is the enemy is really scared of you. The truth of the matter is the enemy is really scared of you. Jericho. The Bible says that the city of Jericho was closed in the walls. None came out and none went in. Why? Because they had heard about all the other feats that the children of Israel had conquered. And the Bible said that they were so afraid of the Israelites. The truth of the matter is the devil is scared of you. He's building up things to make you afraid. He's building up things to make you believe that he's bigger than what you are. But I come to tell somebody in this place tonight to wake up and fight. Don't lay down and die. Because it's not as big as it appeared. Touch your neighbor and say, you can conquer this too. The Bible says that the walls of Jericho were so great and so wide that the people housed themselves even in the walls. God told Joshua, here is the strategic plan in bringing down the walls. The problem is a lot of us, we don't plan out things. But you got to have a strategy and how God is going to maneuver this thing for you to conquer it. Touch your neighbor and say, you got to sit down and make a plan. The enemy has taken time out to blueprint what it is that he's trying to destroy in your life. But now it's time for you to use wisdom and say, God, I got to strategically sit here and you got to show me how to move, when to move, what to say, how to say. Because I understand I have the power in me to conquer this thing. The Bible said that Joshua listened to God and he told him, I need you for 6 days to take the children of Israel completely around the city walls. 6 days straight. I need you to go around the walls one complete time. But I need you to put seven priests before the Ark of the Covenant. And I need them to have horns in their hand. And each time you surround the building, the walls, the city, I want you to blow the horn and go back to the camp. The Bible says this happened 6 times. Hear the strategic plan of God. One thing that specifically stood out was the fact that the Ark of the Covenant had to go around with them. What am I trying to say? Anything you're going to do, you're going to have to do it with the glory in the midst. And one thing I come to realize today in the church, and I got to keep saying what I see in the church, is so many people are mishandling the glory. Mishandling the glory. What are you talking about, Pastor? How are we mishandling the glory? There's no way I can understand how somebody can go partying all night Saturday and then come into church Sunday morning shouting and nobody can sit you down. You're mishandling the glory. How can you get up out of another woman's bed, come up in the church and saying, God bless you, my sister? You're mishandling the glory. There's a problem when you mishandle God's glory. God gets angry when you mishandle the glory. He will kill you for mishandling the glory. If you don't believe me, you remember when the Philistines had the Ark of the Covenant and David had to go and retrieve the glory. what happened in the process. Evangelist Stancil of them retrieving the glory. One thing they did wrong was that they put it on a new cart. The first thing they did wrong was put the glory on a new cart. Everybody's trying to do something new. There's nothing new with God. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. So the first mistake was when they put it on a new cart. Oh, let's bring what the world does. Let's bring it in the church. The devil, God don't need nothing out there that the world has except his children bag. Touch your neighbor and say, don't mishandle it, don't mishandle it. That was their first mistake. The Bible says that they put it on a new cart. On a new cart. Don't you change the order of God. You let God change anything that needs to be changed. But don't you mishandle the glory. Second thing they did wrong was they didn't allow the priest to carry the glory of God. True priests, true Levites. And you hear me say true because everybody ain't a Levite. And everybody ain't true. But that was the second mistake. So much so because they was doing all of this newness and mishandling the glory. The Bible says that in the process that the cart shook. And I come to tell you, God is getting ready to make a shaking in the church. Because he's tired of you trying to change his order. He will kill you dead for mishandling the glory. The cart shook. The new wave shook. All the new stuff shook because it wasn't stable. The only time something shake is when there's no stability. And it's no stability because they was mishandling it and it was not done in the order that God ordained for it to be done. And in the process of the shaking, Uriah reached out to catch it. A good thing, but not a God thing. God ain't looking for no good stuff. He's looking for God stuff. Niceness ain't enough. Realness is what he wants. It shook, and he tried to stop the glory from falling. And God killed him dead. Some will look and say that was wrong. David did. Got upset because God killed him for mishandling the glory. Touch your neighbor and say, don't mishandle it, don't mishandle it. Just because pastor don't see what you're doing, you better straighten it up because God sees. Stop mishandling his glory. You might come look like you got it all together, wearing your uniform in the right order that the pastor told you to wear it in. But what have you done in handling God's glory? Dressed up, but messed up. Dressed up, but messed up. Toe up from the floor up. Beat up from the feet up. Because you trying to hide